Hello, friends. Welcome once again to the Cantor's Corner. This week we read Parasha Tzav, which is the second Parsha found in the book of Leviticus. Now, the reason why a lot of people aren't big fans of the book of Leviticus is that most of it is about law, or as I sometimes like to call it, how you do the Jew. Now, this Parsha ends with a intricate description on how Moses properly invested the priests. It's the creation of their clergy, which is a very, well, from our perspective, bloody affair, because not only were all the priests anointed with oil, which is a little bit slippery in of itself, but then a number of animals were slaughtered and blood was sprinkled around the area and on them and placed on specific body parts, like the toes and hands and head. And this wasn't done just once. This was done in front of the public for a week, each day for a week. Now, not surprisingly, when looking at our time period, we have to say, well, that was how these leaders were created then, as conduits of God. Because remember, a person could not connect with God in that time period unless they brought an offering up to a Levite. That was the only way that an ancient Israelite could connect with God. Once the temple is gone, how are we to connect with God? The conclusion that our rabbis came up with was that we each can have a chance to connect with God as an individual. That Levites were no longer necessary in order to have a conversation with the divine. This means, in my mind, that every single person can be a way to connect with God. I see a unique piece of God inside of each person. And so when I meet a new person, I believe I meet a new face of God. That means if God is inside of every person, or a way to connect with God is inside of each person, that means that even those who do not share your same views can possibly be another way to connect with God. And even people who many would consider to behave abhorrently through their actions, they could even possibly be another way to connect with God. So no matter who you see, I strongly encourage you to remind yourself that even though you may not agree at all with this person, or you think that this person is doing stuff that is horrible and perhaps feels like inhumane, they're still a person. The moment that we conclude that a person is no longer a person, we destroy a bit of our own humanity as well. And I know it's difficult to look at a person that you cannot agree with and see them as human. I recognize that is a struggle, but I think that is one that we all need to make.